Guruve Gaura Chandra Radhika Tadali Krishna Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namo Shri Nanda Nandanam Bande Radhika Charana Dvayam Gopi Jana Samayuktam Vrindavan Manoham Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. So first of all, I offer pranams to our Gurudev, Vishnupada Pradhanti Swami, Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj, our Rupanu Guru Varga, also especially today the Lotus Feet of Nityalila Apparition, Sri Govinda Gosai Maharaj. So today is his Tirubhav Tithi. Tirubhav.
Govinda Maharaj. Sorry.
Yeah, thanks. 28 years. Wow. So, 29 years.
Almost 30 years.
Yes, Mahamata, you are that old. Haribo. So, this morning, everyone was listening the glories of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada. No good to mix two on one day, two at the same time, then you cannot fix your mind on anything. So we have been doing here, hearing glories of Gour Maharaj in the evening time. So, still I remember today when he left. That was a big shock. No one thought he would leave because his health was very good, very strong. And just a few days earlier, Nityananda Triadasi, he gave like a 4-hour class. He was so much shouting and singing, so much enthusiastic. So he would leave very quickly. No one could think. So he was born in Jagannath Puri, small village. There's the deity of Gopal. And since childhood, Maharaj's whole family have served that family deity, Kul Devata, Gopal. From his great-great-great-great-grandfather, Gopal Giri, originally had desire to worship Krishna. They wanted deity from Vrindavan, he thought. So he was thinking, when I'll go to Vrindavan, that time not so easy, you have to walk. So when Baba came to the post office where he worked and gave him in a bag the deity of Gopal. Then the Baba told the history that he was worshipping Gopal here in Vrindavan. Then in his dream, Gopal came in his dream and said, take me to Jagannath Puri. There is one devotee there, I want to accept his self. So the devotee thought, why should I walk to Jagannath Puri and give my deity to someone else? So he ignored it. And Gurudev also said, don't believe in dreams too much. So he ignored the dream. The next night Gopal came with a stick and beat him very heavily. And said, I gave you order, you don't follow? If you don't take me, next time I will kill you. Anyway, I thought it was funny. How will I walk? He said, you have beaten me a lot. He said, when he touches you, all your pain in your body will go away. So that's how the deity of Gopal appeared in that village. And afterwards he installed Radharani. And since many generations, they were worshipping that deity. So Gour Maharaj, his name was Bandhu. Braj Bandhu Malak. So he said, from childhood he knew nothing else except the deity of Gopal. He said he never ate anything not offered to the deity. So he would make garlands. He would always have darshan of Gopal. Even later he took sannyas, everything. Still, he would not go on any foreign trip without taking the permission of Gopal. Actually, in Australia, I asked him my first question. There were many, many deities. I asked him, so, like, which one is your favorite? And he said, I do not see any other deities. I see my Gopal. And that is symptom. Bhagavatam give that symptom of Mahabharata. Bhagavat Bhavanambana. Everywhere they look, they see with Bhagavad Bhav. Means they see everything in relationship to their Ishta. So that was my first question, I remember. So he married, young age, it was arranged marriage. He said he did not want to marry, but pressure is there. So young age he married. He said, first time I saw my wife was at the marriage. And he educated, he did a BA in Sanskrit and some other subject. While working full-time, he also studied part-time in this Sanskrit and other subject, I forget. And he came second in the state of Orissa, despite having a full-time job. So he was a very, very intelligent person. He used to lament so much about he used to say about his Grihastha ashram, so much suffering, so much suffering. He said because family life means, right, Lakshman? Money, money, money. Bring money, and 6 children. Also, he had to take care of his brother's children. Something happened to him. So he also took that responsibility. But he used to keep a diary, even in Grihastha ashram. At the end of every day, he would write something. O Gopal, your servant knows how much I have served you. So when he would often write, when I will take sannyas, when I can leave this. So when he was before 50 actually. 45. How old are you, Maharaj? 79. Shaving a few years. So 45, he left everything. So when he went to renounce everything, then village became disturbed. So they tied him to a tree. A little bit like Raghunath Goswami. A little bit like, no one tied Raghunath, but he had many security guards to make sure he could not escape. So they tied him to a tree and said, you have lost your mind. How can you leave wife and children? Oldest child was not even 16. How can you leave? You have lost your mind. Then he said, you can tie my body but not my soul. Then his wife can. No, release him. I had a dream. Gopal had given him sannyas. Some dream she saw. So he was released. So he spent 2 years traveling around India. Sometimes he would talk about that time, looking for a sadhu. He took Bhagavad Gita and some gauchas. So, one river there that it's called the Mahanadi. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also crossed that. So in Padayatra he told us one story. That when the first night he left home, then barefoot, walking, then how to cross the river, because he came at dusk, and this river is Mahanadi. Maha means big. How will I cross the river? Then he saw one man upstream walking across. And he thought, river must be very shallow there, I'll walk across. Many times you see shallow, river is very big, but it's actually very shallow. Like Yamuna? No. So when he crossed the river on the other side, then the villagers welcomed him. Then they gave him many things to eat. And one man massaged his foot with mustard oil. Mustard oil is good for tender skin. And they asked him, how you cross the river? No boat is there at night. He said, I walked across here. They laughed, they thought he was joking. How you can walk across? The water is like 40, 50 feet deep. And he said, anyhow, Gopal helping them. So that night one old lady came, did pranam to him. Then he asked, oh mother, why are you doing pranam to me? He says, you have done what no one could do, you have left me. And Govinda said, that old lady was Mahamaya. Just like Mahamaya took also Haridas, a little bit similar in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Mahamaya also going for Haridas Thakur. But you have done what no one could do, you have left. So 2 years he went to Haridwar, ladies are going there tonight. And there he was looking at all the ashrams, and also you see in Kumbh Mela how many sadhus smoking bidis in the railway station. So the sadhu, he said, all the sadhus would talk about, hey, 4 o'clock is feast here, but 6 o'clock is there, puris is 8 o'clock, halwa is 1 o'clock. Then he would say, this is why he took sannyas, to fill stomach. And they would take his tiffin and throw it out. Like all the girls keep their tiffin, someone brings their tiffin from, like that system. He took his tiffin and threw it. Then he went to, because also we see Gaudiya like Madhavendra Puri, he took sannyas from Mayavad, but he was not Mayavad. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also of course, from Keshav Bharati, thank you. So sometimes devotee taking sannyas even from Mayavad, but then not become Mayavad, they keep their nishtha. So he approached this Divine Life Society. You know, still it's there. Shivananda, he established this. Then he said, I want to take sannyas. Then something they said, then he was disagreeing, no. Yuga Dharmas, Harinam, Sankirtan, like this. He would not agree with their principles, so they refused him sannyas. So he went to a yogya many places. Then he thought, I'll come Vrindavan, Krishna must fulfill my desire. So he came, and one night he spent in Kesavji Gaudiya. Of course, Premananda and his usual nonsense. He made a whole history of Gaugamaj in the one night in the Kesavji Gaudiya. No need to repeat here what he said. But Premananda says, Gaugamaj met Gurudev. Gurudev spent all night speaking katha to him. Gaugamaj asked for initiation. Gurudev said, no, your Guru is many lies. Because Gurudev again and again said, Gaugamaj came, but I wasn't there. Anyway. So one night he spent there, then he came to Vrindavan. And in Vrindavan there's many ashrams. Even many Gaudiya ashrams, like Babaji's and these caste Goswamis. So he would go to different ashrams, what the sadhus are doing, what they're speaking, how they're living. Then he saw the white Hare Krishnas, the Americans. One gave him back to Godhead. And he was looking. He said, I'm looking 3 things: Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahamantra. Hey, you have to close the door, Prabhupada. So he looked back to Godhead, he saw this. Then he remembered Mahaprabhu's instructions. Prithvi achiyadi nagaradi gram sarvatra hoyava pracharam. Mahaprabhu said, my name will be preached in every town and village. So he thought, who has done this? This Bhaktivedanta Swami, he has done this. Today we're talking about Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. It was he who directly inspired Abhay Chadan. You know English very nicely, you should preach in the Western countries. Without that inspiration, power of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, we will not be here. So he is the root. Today we don't got a chance, but Didi said if you get a chance to speak in Govardhan, you should say we are all one family, all followers of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Even though sometimes it doesn't feel like it, still. Even in one family, sometimes brothers quarrel, but still brother is brother, sister is sister. So he went there and he met Bhaktivedanta Swami. A little difficult, that time was construction going on of Krishna Balaram. But eventually somehow he arranged a meeting. I just have some questions, please. So he began talking with Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, who asked him, where are you from, what's your name, what did you do before, have you taken sannyas? I will give you sannyas. I think Gour Maharaj would often speak, because he spoke what I kept in my heart. Then this is manifestation of the super soul. We cannot hear the super soul, so super soul comes outside, externally in the form of sadhu, Vaishnava. Like that. Then immediately Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj asked him, you know Hindi? Yes, I was school teacher. Can you translate this from English to Hindi? Braj Bandhu, he did, and Prabhupada said, very nice translation. You should translate my books. So even no initiation, nothing's. Prabhupada said, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, give him a room. And there immediately he started his setup. So very quickly he took Harinam sannyas. Then Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj changed his name from Braj Bandhu to Govinda. Someone had donated land there in Bhubaneswar, Nayanapalli. So you go there. I said, I built me a temple as big as Jagannath. Gour Maharaj would often, as big as Jagannath Puri. Gour Maharaj would often laugh. To his disciple, what Guru says, just do it. Don't change. Guru gives one instruction, we're always trying to, it was too difficult, that way we deceive ourselves. To his disciple, when get instruction, just does it. Yes. So he said, my Guru wants a temple as big as Jagannath Puri. First I have to find an architect. So immediately he made friend with one architect who made some sketches, some drawing. Then to build a temple you need money, he began collecting. So alone he began immediately. Temple also needs many servants, he began preaching. So that highway, that land was on, which highway I forget?
National Highway number 5.
Number 5. Busy then, you can imagine now.
Leading to Puri.
No, going to Bombay, I think. Anyway, so he began preaching. That time he could not ride a bike, so he would walk 10 or many miles each day. That's why even in old age he had many leg problems, so much walking. And he began preaching in the local area. First he had nowhere to live, so he lived at Anandu Vasudev. There was famous deity of Lingaraj, like Ketrapal of Puri, where Shiva is there in one form. And there, Lingaraj, Mahadev has a big temple there. Bhubaneswar is actually the name of Mahadev. So, then afterwards he moved to the land, and with his own hands he built one mud hut and began living there. So some devotees came, but they could not stay because quite austere life. And Govinda Das was cooking once a day like this. He would only sleep 1 or 2 hours maximum. And he would do his translations, his preaching, his collecting. Then finally, the person who was staying there could not stay with him. Fat Bhagavan Das. So Gour Maharaj had no one left to help him. So that time was Kumbh Mela, 1970. Now Kumbh Mela means this time. So Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj was at Kumbh Mela, then Gour Maharaj went there to meet him. Then immediately his Guru asked him, why have you come here? I told you to be in Puri, Bhubaneswar. And he told the situation, no one can stay, I am alone. So please give me sannyas. And Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj said, you know what is sannyas? Sannyas means you never think of a woman even for a second, and you will go to hell to preach. Understand? Yes. people were confused, did he say yes or no? Then 1975, Ram Navami, actually this year will be the 50th anniversary of Krishna Balaram Temple ISKCON, right?
Yeah.
50th year. So Ram Navami, Gour Maharaj went there, Govinda Das, and 2 candidates were there for sannyas. One was Tripurari Maharaj, but no one knew who the second person was. So Govinda Das did the yagya, many people had taken Diksha and Harinam, so he did the yagya. Then Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj asked, candidates for sannyas, come forward. Then he came from the yagya straight, took sannyas. I was not there, of course, I was only 5 years old when this happened. Then after that, then Gour Maharaj stood up and spoke like that, about Prabhupada's glories. When Bhaktivedanta Swami heard that, he began to weep hearing that. And after he said, this is how one should glorify the spiritual master. Gour Maharaj said, any disciple should be ready at any time. Stand up and speak half an hour about your Guru, any time. So he got the name Gour Govinda Swami. So there's 75 who went back to Bhubaneswar and continued his mission there. You'd say his preaching mission had 3 missions. 3 services he got from his Guru. Build a temple, as big as Jagannath Puri. Translate all my books into local language. And preach. So he did that. He translated all the books and made his own printing press. Imagine that. The temple had its own printing press. So they would translate, print, and many brahmacharis would distribute books. They had 2 buses, 3 buses, full of brahmacharis that would go here and there. Then Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj became pastimes of illness. Then he came to Bhubaneswar in 1977. Gour Maharaj would often talk about the visit of his Gurudev. Because it was a little isolated and a little primitive, then they arranged state guest house. Now if like in the northern parts of India, they have forest guest house, like where government people can stay, so state guest house. One time I made friends with one guy when I was trekking, and he was in charge of the Lucknow state guest house, so I stayed there a few days. Really nice facility. But Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj refused. No, I will stay on Krishna's land. And of course that time he was very famous, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. He made Hare Krishna household name, household word in the whole world. So very famous. Even now he's so famous, imagine when he's directly manifest. So many thousands of people would come each day to hear his lectures. And Bhaktivedanta Swami said, Govinda, everyone who comes has to get prasad. And Govinda would so laugh. Yes, Gurudev. He just said, yes. Govinda said, the disciple, in the rights of a disciple, is only one book with 1 page with 1 line. The disciple has the right to ask, how can I serve? So he said, how will I feed so many people? But like magic, someone brought rice, someone brought dal, someone brought firewood, someone brought ghee. And thousands of persons took prasad every day. At that time, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj was translating 10th canto. He started 10th canto translation there. So there was only 2 rooms. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj was staying in one. Then he called Govinda Maharaj and told him many, many themes. We would ask him what he said, but he said, this is my treasure. But he said, you will have to preach, you will have to make own disciples. Otherwise, how will you finish this project? And you should preach. So like this, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj stayed there a long time. How many days he stayed?
Like 17 days.
17 days. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj would never stay anywhere more than 2 or 3 days. Really, he was part of Rajikachara, always moving. But Bhubaneswar, he stayed 17 days. Then he established deities of Krishna Balaram. Well, he established the temple, found, what's it called? Cornerstone, foundation stone. And gave him many instructions. I want these deities, brass, Krishna Balaram, Gaunitai, and of course Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. Govinda would laugh that time. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj was angry at Jagannath. Why my Western disciples cannot go for darshan in Jagannath Puri? They are Vaishnavas. That's true, you see all these guys eating fish and chicken and they're going for darshan. Why we cannot go? But still Rup Sanatan would not go. Haridas Thakur, so Mahabhagavad, he would not go. So Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj was in Man with Jagannath. He would not go to the Jagannath temple. So Govinda would laugh. I had to break his man. So they established Jagannath. And afterwards Bhaktivedanta, my disciples cannot go to Jagannath, so I'll bring Jagannath here. So there he began his seva there. In 1977, then Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj left this world, Kartik month. Then the next year, there was Bhakti Daita Madhav Maharaj's Tirubhav. He had just entered Nitya Lila, 1978. No, it wasn't. Okay.
2 years.
So Govinda Maharaj went to that because Bhakti Daita Madhav Maharaj was a very principal disciple of Saraswati Thakur. And in the middle of that festival, then he just fell unconscious in the kirtan hall during kirtan. Then many symptoms of ecstasy. Of course, I was not there. I was only 8 years old.
That was in Jagannath Puri temple?
No, that was in Mayapur. Then 3 months he was not in external consciousness. 3 months. One devotee from Australia, Laguti Prabhu, he was serving him during all that time. He said, Govinda would come to consciousness. He goes, what is this? That's a body. That's a body. What? Means how much? Some people said he was mad, but that time Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, Akinshan Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj. Everyone knew he was Mahabhagavat. So they called him, then he saw Govinda's symptoms. Held some cotton under his nose, looked at the other, and he laughed. He said, no madness, this is Bhav Bhakti. Then the Akinshan Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj said, if he lives, he will become great Acharya. Because Gurudev said this body is material, it cannot hold prema. So most devotees, prema comes, they go. But Babaji Maharaj said, if he lives, he will be great Acharya. Then Babaji Maharaj suggested, take him out of the down, out of Mayapur. Here's too much spiritual emotion. So they took him back to Bhubaneswar. He became, I don't know how to explain it. More Madhyamadika can deal with us. So there, 1978, and he began, anyway, preaching there. Many local persons would come. Nayanapali still, that time was, even when I was there, was very isolated and quiet place. So many local persons came and all went to Mayapur demanding, we want to take initiation from Govinda Maharaj. That time only 11 people were initiated, allowed to initiate. So GBC agreed and Govinda began initiating in 1986. Then also the same year he began his preaching. The first place he went preaching was France. Right, Mani? France. Just like Napoleon attacked the strongest part of the enemy. After strongest Kali Yugas, they were in France. Some stories I heard. Before was one guru there, Bhagavan Das. People called him the sun god.
The sun god.
Because of his suntan. Because he lived everything was gold. So Govinda was so simple. When he came, they showed him the bathroom. And there was gold taps, there was a gold toilet. The Govinda was so simple, he thought this was the temple room. So simple. So he did pranam like that, thinking this is the temple. Even I've never seen a gold toilet. So in this way, he had a bed. The bed was probably as big as this temple room. But he did pranam, this is no bed for sannyasi. And he began his preaching. No? So his preaching he was like two different persons on the asana, like a lion, but outside the asana, very gentle, very soft. And when he would speak katha, then like another person, so much absorbed. Sometimes he would say, today Bhaktivinoda Thakur was speaking through me. He would say like that. So he was very direct in confronting the anathas of the audience.
We heard some examples this morning.
Yes. So, of course, who's simple heart, they take this as mercy, but who's crooked, opposite effect is there. Sometimes sadhu gives mercy, the person misunderstands, that is that person's own misfortune. So his preaching, I guess like any preaching of any high-class Vaishnava, simple person takes the mercy, and crooked person makes aparad. Because sadhu means you cannot be neutral. Sadhu means you have to go here or there. We all know if someone's speaking, we have no faith in that person. We're like, Damana Maharaj, what would he know? We all know if someone's speaking, we have no faith, we like, switch off. Adapter, God, again. So many people would like that. You would divide. Simple-hearted persons become very enthusiastic, very happy. And crooked persons become more dangerous, more angry. So his preaching caused real revolution, especially at that time. So much confusion about Guru Tapa. 3 levels of Vaishnavas. Every Vaishnava is not the same. Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttam is there. Problem comes when you cannot understand who is who. A Kanishta you make as an Uttam you treat as Kanishta, a Madhyamadikari, instead of serving, you neglect. In this way you make aparad. You dig your own grave. Vaishnava gives this power how to discriminate. Sakala saman korite sakati dehonata jata jate tabitu gaibo harina vasuke aparada habe hata. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Vaishnava, if you give me mercy, I can know sakala saman korite. You give me power how to respect, in which level. Uttam Vaishnava is one level of saman, respect. Madhyamadikari is another level, and Kanishta is another level of respect. You don't understand and you misbehave, you will cut your own head. And if you behave properly, then aparada habehata. All aparada will be destroyed by proper behavior with Vaishnavas. So Gour Maharaj speaking this, Vaishnav Tattva. Vaishnav means Guru, Guru Tattva. And many people also become angry at him. At that time, so much confusion, many gurus were falling down like this. So, yes. Anyway, so I was not there. It was about Srila Maharaj there. He tells some stories that first preaching tour. So he began preaching, and in many places he was banned by his preaching. Especially, I was not there before my time. He came to Australia. And there the GBC, his name was Swami. The Gour Maharaj was talking about the glories of Ajamil. When Ajamil chanted Narayan, then 3 Yamadutas came, 4 Vishnu Dutas came. The Gour Maharaj said, you cannot imitate his voice, but, Ramayan? Why 3 Yamadutas came? Why 4 Vishnu Dutas came? He couldn't answer. What? You are sannyasi, you don't know this? You call yourself Prabhupada disciple? You don't know this? How can you preach? What? Too much. Hammer him in front of everyone. Huh? Narayana, 4 syllables, 4 Vishnu Dutas come. And we do sin by body, mind and words, so 3 Yamadutas come. This way he hammered. Like, did you see the main guy in Australia? Hammered him, in front of everyone. So next year, banned. Hare Krishna. Such a wonderful example of how to tolerate the chastisement of a Vaishnava by the leaders of the society. Because disciple means under discipline, who accepts the discipline. That is disciple. Who not accept becomes angry. Hey, who are you? So many times he was banned from Europe, from Australia, from America, Russia. The only place he wasn't banned was Africa. No money there, right? Who cares about Africa? So he would preach in Africa. I remember my cell at that time was tape ministry. All the new classes I would hear and edit and make the quality nice. So all these classes I would hear from all the African classes. So funny. So funny. Africans so happy because no one ever preaches there. So yes, anyways, Nigeria, he would go, Ivory Coast, all these places, Nigeria, Ivory Coast, South Africa. These hellish places, he would go there. And of course, no one could ban him from India because he was Indian. So Prabhupada gave, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj gave him that Prabhu Datta Desh, they say, the place given by Prabhu for preaching. So Orissa at that time was one of the poorest states in India. So Orissa is very interesting because that is Vaishnav Ketra, the place of Jagannath, and also Mahaprabhu stayed there 18 years. 18 years. Huh? All these places, Mahaprabhu knows, everyone knows Lord Chaitanya, everyone knows Jagannath. But there's also the place where many Apasiddhantas started from. These Apasampradayas also start from Puri. So interesting to preach there. People know, but like everywhere, Krishna Vayamukoi Bhagavan Chakana. Many reasons, many excuses why not to serve Krishna. So I remember this little my experience. So every year we'd go on Padayatra. So we'd start in Kartik, beginning of Kartik. We would preach for 2 months. Today we went there and one Muni Maharaj one also. He was singing one song of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Dustana Mantuni Kisira Vaishnav. We know that kirtan. So Saraswati Thakur said, only the Brijvasis will preach because the Brijvasis have Krishna and Krishna is life. So Govinda, that was his motto in life. Who has life, who has Krishna, they can preach. They feel so much compassion. Oh, Krishna's Jivatma. So in this way, 2 months we would preach. Well, he would preach, and we would just be there. So village, every day 2 villages. Walking in the morning, lunchtime program, walking after lunch, evening program, 2 months. I was the only Westerner who survived both tours. Everyone else sick and complaining. I don't know, I was the only one who survived. And for 2 months, every night, same class. You say that, people think this is madness. 2 months, every night, the same class. There's Ajamil Kata. Because in Ajamil Kata is everything. There's Vaishnava Tattva, there's Karma, perfect knowledge of Karma, how Bhakti is beyond that. Nam Tattva, many things are there. So he would preach this. So at the beginning of every class they would do kirtan and Govinda would sing, the audience would not sing. People shy. And he would shout. And those who chant the name of Hari, then Yamaraj crosses their name from the book of punishment. And those who don't chant their name, Yamaraj writes their name in. So then he would say, everyone should chant, otherwise Yamaraj will write your names for hell. Then all audience, Hare Krishna. So I remember the audience, they would listen, pin drop silence. 2 hours, 3 hours every night. So this way he preached. All the Orissans too much respect him because they saw how sadhu, how he is living so simply. So at that time, the king of Puri is considered the moving Jagannath. He would come to darshan of Govinda Maharaj. He would do pranam. He would say, why are you doing pranam? You are like the moving Jagannath, the king of Puri. I don't know. He said, when I see Govinda Maharaj, I have to do pranam. Something. He had so much respect for Govinda Maharaj. So we started the Padayatra in 1994. Then the king of Puri was there. King of Puri spoke something, then Govinda Maharaj fully absorbed, and singing this song of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Jeev Jago, Gora Chanda Bole Kota Nidra Jao Maya Pisa Jivik. Inacheo Sani Maya Nasi Balolali. Say Hari Nam Mantra. Loud to me, man. Like bashing the desk, like shouting like this. And I remember the king of Puri's face. Afraid, and we were afraid too, but so much absorbed. Where's life, you bitch? So anyway, so he came to Australia in 1994. Also, that was my first meeting with him. So it was funny because he came to Melbourne, but all the disciples of Govinda Maharaj were banned. They said, you can come, but none of your disciples can come. So I was not a disciple, so I could come. So that time I got a chance to hear his Harikatha, so powerful. We hear Shakshat Harikatha, that's the master word. What is the meaning we don't understand. Until you hear Vaishnava like that speak. Yes, you feel Krishna has taken the form of Guru and is delivering me by this. Krishna taking the form of his own devotee. Shakshat Hari, Guru is not different than Bhagavan. So his katha is so powerful. So, and prasad, and no one took his Mahaprasad. So every day was a huge mountain. I remember. Then he went to the farm, the Melbourne farm, so I went there. I was in the same car with him, coming, going. So many chance I got, many questions I got to ask him. So that's where I asked him. I asked him for a darshan. Okay, come. So when he went, I sat there and I said, I want to take initiation. He laughed. Wait, what's your name? Too much he was laughing at me. I mean, in a good way. What? Don't be in such a rush. What's your name? Where are you from? How long are you in temple? Then he said, I accept you as disciple. This is eternal relation based on love and trust. But don't be in such a rush for initiation. He said, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj met his guru and took 12 years later. I remember, okay. Anyway, then he went to Adelaide. Like this, I got a chance to travel with him. Then he told me, you stay here in Adelaide. Australia is the bottom of the earth, and Adelaide is the bottom of Australia. So he said, you stay here, my disciples, and you stay here. So I went back to Sydney. I have to go there. And then I started thinking, there's no Sadhu Sangha in Adelaide. No, Gurudev said, who always stays in Sadhu Sangha, Satsang, they get strength, they can do bhajan. But if I go to Adelaide, there'll be no Sadhu Sangha. So I had money. I used to work. That's where I met a Tripura. My first and only part-time job. So some money I had. I'll go back to India. So I went there, one-way ticket, and he saw me with so much laughing. When he saw me there. Whenever he would come back from a tour, he would give a special class for everyone. So in the Prashadam hall, he was talking. We have to have greed for Sadhu Sangha. We have to have greed. Some people have so much greed for Sadhu Sangha. They're kicking their temple president. They're kicking this, and running for Sadhu Sangha. And he was laughing so much, Then I was very happy because this was me, Then I was there a few days. I went to go and see him. Then he said, yes, I'm getting so many letters of complaint about you. Temple president was writing, why you took Damodar, he's useless. Why? They should be thanking him. Thank you. Why you took our disciple? Why you took this disciple from your temple like this without permission? And Govinda Maharaj said, I didn't. And he said, I didn't know anything. Why you came? Then he was asking me all this. Why you came? And I told everything. They all hate you in the temple. I cannot stand there. Then he said, you should just write everything to the temple president. Simple truth. Okay. And then I said to him, I disobeyed you because you told me to go there, but I came here, but I did wrong. Because because I've not followed your instructions. So if you order me, then I will go back. But what you order, I will do. Then he closed his eyes for a long time. I remember it seemed like yugas. He closed his eyes for a long time. Then he said, anyway, now you are here, you might as well stay. That was his grace. So he wrote my letter. Sent it to the temple president. It wasn't a very good letter, but it was truthful. Then I remember I got the answer back. Your ignorance is only exceeded by your arrogance. Anyway, he didn't want me back, so I stayed. Then I could stay there like almost 2 years. Not quite, a year and a half I got to stay there. And Gour Maharaj gave so nice guitar. Really, anyone who remember his guitar, people become... When he's speaking, you feel Krishna can walk in the door. When he would speak, you feel Krishna can walk in the door. If I close my eyes, I will see Krishna. That much, I know, that much absorption he gave the audience. Yeah, so his class was very long. Very long. But in his class, no one felt bored, no one sleeping. Anyway, I never slept or felt bored. So he said, yes. So his class was very long. First was Oriya class for 1.5 hours, 2 hours. And then English class for 3 hours. But he would not let anyone leave during the Oriya class. Anyhow, I said, name of Krishna is going in here. Name of Krishna is there. Sabdavaman is there. So his guitar would start like 8, 7:30 and finish like 11:30, 12. So much. But he would speak Bhagavatam 3 days a week. Chaitanya Charitamrita 3 days a week. So especially Chaitanya Charitamrita class, all this Snehaman, Pranay, Rag, Anurag, Bhav, Mahabhav, Madhanak, all these topics he would speak, also very, very high topics. So he said, I have 3 missions. Many people say Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj just giving baby school introduction. When I hear this, I feel so much pain. He has described everything, but you cannot see it. So this is my mission, to show everything is in his books. You cannot see without sadhu-sangha. Then, when I see people leaving ISKCON, I feel sad. No need to leave. I want to show everything you can find here. And my 3rd one, and to finish this temple, 3 missions. So, yeah, so this went on like a year and a half. I was there. Sometimes he would travel. That time we'd also feel like very sad when he would left. No, not so much. Anyway, when sadhu was not there, it's not so easy thing. But when he would come back, then again life would come. And I was doing tape ministry, so many every day, 4, 5, 6 hours a day listening, doing all the tapes. So nice Harikatha impression I got. So also he had many obstacles because of the nature of his preaching. Just see in KB, Maharaj is like quite soft and well behaved, but still, how much opposition coming? What to speak of Didi? Never do or say anything. Even son never sees it, but still so much opposition. This is Kali Yuga, no? These are all agents of Kali. Kali is empowering them, no? Money, Pratishta, followers. Anyway, so these opposite these against agents become very strong in Kali Yuga. So Gour Maharaj had so much opposition to his preaching. So this caused him disturbance. So, yes. Anyway, what can I say? I remember, I'll just finish this Padayatra Katha. So, at the end of Padayatra, we would come back. So I remember, he would give different benedictions to everyone who did the Padayatra. And I remember I was sitting there, but I was last because no initiated. I was just... But everyone would give different... He would give different benedictions to everyone. Different. Like very wonderful. I think. Sometimes he would say, Augusta Rishi, he was building a temple. Then many workers were there. And he said, I will pay you at the end of your labors. So at the end of the labors, all the workers came one by one to Augusta Rishi. So he would take a handful of sand and give to each worker. So the workers who really worked, who really tried, the sand would become gold dust. The workers who did a little work and then 50-50, half sand, half gold. And the guys who didn't do any work, they just got sand. So I think maybe like that. Everyone was giving different benediction. And I remember my benediction came. I was called up. I was thinking, what he will give me? I was thinking. And he said, oh, Maharaj, he should learn Hindi. I remember he said, he should learn Hindi. Then he can stay in India and preach all around India very easily. And he said, I give you my benediction, you will spend your whole life in Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. He didn't give that to anyone, I remember. Just, I bless you, your whole life you will spend in Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. Anyway, so far so good. Anyway, I'm still alive, put it that way. So, anyway, I remember that blessing I got. Then I was not too much like greedy for initiation because he said, yes, don't worry, I accept you. So probably I would have taken initiation and Ram knows me. No, now Ram knows me just like 1 or 2 months away. But then on this day, how surprising, he left this world. So he went to Mayapur. Every year was annual meetings of the governing body, commission, GUC. So every year he would go there. So I wanted to go with him, so I asked him, can I go to Mayapur with you? And he said to me, no need, nasty place, nasty place. Mayapur is not nasty, but what's happening there is nasty, I remember. Don't go there, you're going to stay here, nasty place, don't go. So we were staying there then. So when he left on the day of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Saraswati Thakur is the root of this modern day Gaudiya Math, ISKCON, whatever. But the root is Saraswati Thakur. And many people are saying he is not in the line. He is different. But by leaving on this day, Govinda said, no, I'm in line, you are not in line. I'm in line. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So how he left was really wonderful. I was not there. I heard. Someone asked you a question. Why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived in Jagannath Puri so long? 16 years, 12 years he lived in Puri. And Mahaprabhu took 24 years. 24 years he took sannyas. 18 years he lived in Puri. And Govinda became very happy because he said all day there was no Harikatha, just meetings. So he was explaining that Jagannath Puri is Vipulambaketra, the place of Viraha. And who is Jagannath? Jagannath Dev is, Jagannath Dev is, Dwarkadish Krishna. He's Krishna feeling separation from Brijvasi, especially feeling separation from Radhika. So Jagannath Dev, he is the Viraha, separation. And Jagannath Puri is also known as Vipulambaketra, the place of separation. And Mahaprabhu came to this world to taste that. So he was speaking like this. Then speaking katha, then his voice choked. I cannot speak. Then he said, do kirtan. In the middle of katha, middle of speaking katha, then he left like this. Then news came in Bhubaneswar. I remember no one believed it. Come on, that's impossible. Maybe he's just in samadhi. I remember we were saying, no.
Even the devotees there, seeing his body, they thought that he was just in an unconscious state.
No one believed he left. No one can left. Because no sickness, no nothing, just like that. I remember we heard, we not believed. No. Then they drove his Vigraha to, that was all today, 20-something years ago. I never believed it until I saw him in the car, then it hit like a brick. I remember like a punch in the face. What? It's true. Otherwise we not believe. Then everyone saw shocked. It's like devastation. When Gurudev left, this was devastation, but we had Didi, so I'm not saying we not felt separation, but some hope was there because Didi was in this world. Not too much affected at that time. We don't know anyone. Close the doors, go bankana. Who just walks in and leaves the door? So we heard like, this was like thunderbolt. Then, but that was one mercy. If I'd gone to Mayapur, I never would have been in the Samadhi ceremony, because everyone who went there could not come for the Samadhi because it's quite a distance. So there we did all Samadhi ceremony. One mistake they did, they put the Samadhi in the same place as the Bhajan Kutir, right? Big temple you could put anywhere, but that time no one had any right what to do. Because so sudden, no one really prepared. Anyway, then I remember, I'd asked Govinda, like 1 or 2 weeks before he left, he was giving class. I won't tell the whole history, but Govinda indicated, because one time I asked him in Calcutta airport, he was going preaching, and I wanted to ask one question, but he didn't want to ask in front of everyone. It was not a very nice question. So I asked, Gurudev, when you leave, what will I do? What will happen to me when you leave? This was like not too long before he left. Then he said, no, I said, what is my life mission? That's right. What is my life mission? What is my life seva? Because Govinda said, Guru will give you one life seva. That is your seva, fixed seva. Like Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj ordered him, to build his temple. This is your seva. So I asked him, what is my seva? What is my life mission? That was my first question. And he laughed. Your life mission is to become pure devotee. So I said, I think you are trying to cheat me. So to tell me what is my seva? What should I concentrate on? And he said, you are not ready for that. But when you are ready, it will come. Okay, I'm not ready. Then second question, what will I do when you leave this world? Under whose guidance will I do bhajan? And he said, Shiksha Guru? And I said, but I don't know any Shiksha Guru. I don't know any Shiksha Guru. I know you, but I don't know any Shiksha Guru. Then he laughed. Don't worry, Krishna will make all arrangements. He said like that. Krishna will make all arrangements. So then 2 weeks before he left, he was giving class. Then, anyway, I won't tell the whole story. Govinda indicated, when I leave, you should go to this devotee, one devotee. Anyways, when Govinda left, I went. That devotee had left also. Then I went to Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj. Now I knew he was Mahabhagavad, but I knew this is not my Guru. I knew he was pure devotee. It's not my Guru. Then I went to Gurudev. So he made everything very clear and ready. Gurudev also so much mercy, so kind. He could have just, but Vaishnava is so much kind. They accept us. We have nothing. Yogyata vichar kichu naham nahi pai tumara karunas. What we have. A few years ago, where's Chitananda? Not here. Someone was saying, oh yes, Didi keeping us because we have something. We were laughing immediately. What we have? We are just eating paneer. We are just causing loss to the temple. What we have that they need, with nothing we have, they are interested in. What we have? Money, real estate. But they have no interest in these things. No? So Vaishnava is merciful, they accept this. Tumara karunasa, your mercy is everything. Anyway, when I came to Gurudev, also very easy. He made everything so easy for me. So easy. So anyway, that is his mercy. So today we remember Govinda Maharaj. So much he had nishta for Guru, so much nishta for Guru. So this thing we can learn. So obedient with what Guru said, how he followed. It's very rare to find an example of this quality. So today we remember him, and very wonderfully he had disappeared on this day. So today is remembrance both Saraswati Thakur and his grandson. And we also following behind. We are very fortunate to be in this Guru Parampara, very fortunate. Like crow sits on the mango tree, still he is lucky, the fragrance he gets. So anyhow, some people question that Sampradaya, Gaudiya Math has no Sampradaya Babaji's son. No? But we can understand. You see the fruit. Even the disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, if any of you saw them, like Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami, the disciple, even the disciples of the disciple. And these days, even the disciples of the disciple of the disciple, so pure, so wonderful, so high class. And you can imagine what is the rest of the Guru Parampara. So today we do Pranam. Govinda left very young, 64. I think same age as Saraswati Thakur. Saraswati Thakur also left very young. So Govinda also left very young. So we do Pranam to the Vaishnavas. Today is the appearance and disappearance day. Wherever they are, Lord Vrindavan, they can bless us, keep us in line, keep us in sadhu-sang. And it's a Jai Prasad Pure Sambhas. That's why they fulfill all the things. Nitya Parishi Govinda Goswami Maharaj ki Joy Nitya Parishi Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Go Premanande. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama.